This is KCAA.
We're on the move. All right, now. No stopping us now. A little rain in Southern California can slow you down, though. But it doesn't stop you. And if you're out in the rain here in Southern California you're on the freeways, please pay attention. I appreciate that you're listening to us, but please pay attention to those people in front of you, those people next to you, and the ones behind you. And it's not easy to see. But man, we need this water. So, let's get along with it. Let's be good with it. Let's not allow ourselves to get into any road rage or yard rage or house rage because of something as beneficial as the rain. So it's one of those days where you're hanging in and, you're making choices. You made the choice either to get up and get out in it, and what do you do in the rain? I don't know. You walk. Ask your kid, what do you do in the rain? They'll say, let's put the boots on, let's get out here and let's play in it. So the choices, always the choices. I'm listening to Reverend E.C. and he's talking about choices. The choices that people make, good and bad, and everybody wants it perfect, but God doesn't even want it perfect in the sense that it's totally the way you want it forever. I mean, day and night. I mean, we live based on these opposites, north and south, up and down, in and out, good and bad. That's a balance that is always, okay. You can go to the North Pole and get a little bit more darkness for a period of time, but that balances out too. Same thing with the South Pole, but you're going to get pretty much, okay, I watch the NBA and I see a team take off early, and they're beating the boo-bangy out of somebody. But the other team tends to catch up and, before it's over, everybody starts over again or closer. You watch a football game, some guys get beat up in the first half, and in the second half, things level out. Well, whatever can happen to one team in the first 30 minutes can happen to the other one in the next 30. And the same thing with you and I, making choices. We want our kids to be good. We want them to be productive. We want them to contribute kindly to the world. But then there's some people who, by the time their kid's 2 years old, dad's taught them how to knife fight. We could say, well, that's wrong. What's he doing teaching his kids how to fight, especially with weapons and blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe we look at dad's history and we find out that he lost something very dear to him because he couldn't protect it. Balancing. Most people are not just mean and evil. The people who can do mean and evil things are not necessarily just mean and evil. They may have been taught by experience to perform and act in antisocial ways. But how do we embrace that? How do we deal with the fact that, we may be sitting on the bus or on the train, a lot of people deal with it by not getting on a bus or a train, sitting that close and next to someone who may be 180 degrees in terms of philosophy from you. There may be someone who feels like spitting on the floor is fine. Well, Wallace, there's things that people do that are almost as disgusting to other people. And it's not that it's right or wrong, it's just that you're dealing with another environment inside of the same environment. Cultural differences inside the same culture. Well, we have those same differences at the dinner table inside the same family. I don't like asparagus. Well, I'll take yours. Well, fine. But we shouldn't even be buying asparagus. It's simple things and it's very complicated things. But the one thing about it is you can believe that everybody on the planet does not feel the same way about everything that you do. There's going to be opposition to giving away food to people who are hungry. There's opposition to that. You can't just go to any park and sit up and feed hungry people. Cities are not allowing that necessarily anymore. It draws the wrong blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't get into who's right or who's wrong. I'm simply saying that there are oppositions to things that people are doing that they consider to be socially redeeming, a gift to society. There's people who feel like getting rid of black folk off the planet would be a wonderful thing for society. And there's others that say, well, no, they don't have to get rid of them. Let's just keep them over in a certain spot and keep them available to entertain us and, lead us through troubled times and blah, blah, blah. And there's black folk who feel the same way about white people. So and brown people, and how we decide that, we're God's favorite and you're God's not favorite, how do we make that decision? Mom loves me more than she loves you. How do you make those decisions? More important, what are the ramifications of making that decision, of choosing to be anti-family because you think mom gave your sibling a little bit more for breakfast or hugged him longer or whatever? We've got to get around that, but I don't know if we can, because once again, there's going to be as much light as there is darkness. There's going to be as much up as there is down. The choice is, where are you going to be? Are you going to contribute to society in a healthy, socially redeeming way? Or are you going to just try to get your way? I'm not the judge, but they tell me there's somebody named St. Peter or something like that. And sometimes when you die, you're going to pay for what you... I'm not sure about how all of that goes. But I know I feel better going to bed after I've done something cool than going to bed trying to go to sleep after I've done something that I know wasn't cool. So we've got some people who do cool things. I'm sure that there's some things that they do that they're not that proud of. But we got a couple of people coming up that are doing things that they're proud of and want to share with you, and I want to share them with you also, because I agree with them. They're doing some things that are good, and that helps them feel well. And so, good news for all of us. You come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the San Bernardino Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, and I think they've chosen their marshals, grand marshals, etc. And we're going to talk to Miss Lou Dowdy about that. And then there's Always Carry. That's his name, Always Carry. Yeah, between now and then, you can go to YouTube and ask to hear some Always Carry. His name is spelled ALWAZZZZZ, if you want to get to his website, always. And we're always here to take a shot, take a chance, make you moan and groan a little bit, guaranteed to make you laugh a little bit before it's over. Hopefully we'll inform you of something that'll help change your mind about how you've been thinking. But either way, know it's given with love. We'll be right back with a big hug and a smile. This is Wallace Allen on the case for truth and justice with the Empire Talks Back show. Talking back to you in a few.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Leaving things half done, not a good look. Like a half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides?
A half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
Or a half of a domino.
Bam! big six.
But where's the other half?
Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Stay up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Right now, I was at Mom's house yesterday, and she says, Butch, I can't get my record player to work. I said, oh, okay, go get your records, and we'll put a couple of your Christmas records on. So she went and got me a cassette. And I said, well, okay, where's your cassette player? Well, no, it's my records. Okay, Mom, you used to have a record shop. You played records. You sold records. This is well, you know what I mean. I mean the music. Anyway, make a long story. Yeah, I'd like to keep it long because I love talking about Mom, but we'll make it short. But I introduced her to YouTube again. She's delighted. She's listening to the Temptations and stuff. She said, this computer. You know, we lost Pop 3-4 months ago, and she's been, like anybody else, grieving and all. And in that grieving, she hasn't kept up with a lot of stuff, But staying on the computer was a bit of an issue. So I showed her how to do it on the phone. Plug the phone in so I keep the energy up, turn that baby up loud. And when I left her house yesterday, we could hear the Temptations. I think it was probably Nat King Cole, because if there's one that she wants to repeat, it's the Nat King Cole. That generation loved our man Nat King Cole. Another thing from that generation that comes up to us is Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a hero, a man who dedicated his life to equity. It was civil rights. It was economics. Matter of fact, They let him hang in there for a while, as long as he's talking civil rights and stuff. He got involved about talking about economics. And next thing you know, we're having a funeral. But anyway, now we're having a memorial to a great man. Ms. Lou Dowdy's on the phone. She's chairperson of the San Bernardino Martin Luther King Parade. She's real active. I don't know how she squeezes all the stuff in the day that she does. But Miss Lou, we are appreciative of that. And how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
How's the rain treating you? You like hearing those raindrops? Make you want to sleep longer? What did it do?
You know it, absolutely. Yes. Just stay ugly, you know what I mean? Don't do my hair, don't put no eyelashes on, and just comfortable.
Okay, well, I'd like to inform you, you're on camera right now. We've got you live all over.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, we're using that sneaky camera deal,
Right.
You look great. Listen, the parade, you guys have made some decisions as we go forward in this. You've got your...
Yes.
Tell us about give us the update on the parade.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the platform. We are excited. The San Bernardino MLK Day extravaganza is definitely full speed ahead. It seems like every day is, developing with different things that is taking place. We did select our grand marshals, and I'm excited to have. Well, we're excited to have Mayor-elect Helen Tran, and then also. We have.
She's the new mayor of San Bernardino, Helen Tran, right?
Right.
So this will be one of her first official activities.
Right. Well, no. She's already been out there. I saw her yesterday after the Christmas parade.
Well, that's
riding in the Christmas parade. So she's already active out there.
Oh, that's right. And I missed yesterday. What do they call that?
It was the YMCA 45th annual Christmas parade.
Oh, Wallace, and you missed that.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
wasn't raining. No reason for me to miss it. That's just
yeah.
too bad.
The iconic pace setters, San Bernardino pace setters was marching, and so was the iconic explosives drill team, and a lot of different other organizations. Baca was out there as well as the chief, Mr. Goodman. So those are some of our marshals that we have. Speaking of Mr. Good, Chief of Police, Mr. Darren Goodman, and then also to Joe Baca, Supervisor Joe Baca. Then we also have Assembly Member James Ramos. So those are our four grand marshals that we have for the parade coming up in January the 16th on a Monday on the west side of San Bernardino, starting point at Gomez Elementary School, ending at Arroyo High School.
Hobnobbing with big-time elected officials. That's a good deal.
Right. And you know what's so awesome about it is because our committee, they came up with the theme, living a dream. And then, that's one thing, we know the history of Dr. Martin Luther King and what he stood for. But one of the things definitely was that he wanted to see diversity and us come together as, all creeds, all colors. And I really feel that this is a great representation of that, our Grand Marshals.
Yeah, we can pretty much look at the African American and see how all of that diversity works, because very few African Americans are, 15-20% African. So you see an African American walking down the street, he's probably got 15-20% of that, 13-14% of that, and this, that, and the other, and a whole lot of extra stuff. But diversity is represented by the existence of the African American. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way, when we check it out, there's so many, so many people walking around saying that they're white that are probably African American. But anyway, Wallace, you always always go do that kind of stuff. But
right, because we could definitely go there. But when I say diversity, also too, Wallace, I'm also talking about just our community, because we're so, it's a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? So
all the reason in the world to hug somebody.
Exactly.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah, to have that represented, I think is phenomenal, and especially this is our third annual MLK Day parade. So we're honored to have these individuals representing as our Grand Marshals for 2023.
Well, I think the Inland Empire is probably one of the greatest places on the planet in terms of
absolutely.
And that the people here have kind of been cheated because of so much. People come to this great area and they think, wow, you hear it all the time. They come here and there's nothing going on. We're going to make something happen. And I think there's a lot of corruption that has taken place in terms of our image. This is a great place. It's a great place to raise our kids. At the same time, we notice that there's some issues. We're able to point at something like the pace setters.
But what place don't have issues? You show me a perfect place.
That's what we're talking about.
And
how can you make your decision to do what you can do to make your area, your lifestyle, your friends, your circumstance better? Because you can always do nothing and allow it to be worse. And that's why I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the other people here in San Bernardino who don't sit around and whine and cry about how bad it is and this, that, and the other, and want to sell their property and run away. I say, if you don't like it and don't want to fight for it, please move on and let somebody come on in here who can appreciate all this great potential that we have here.
Wallace, look at our mountains.
I'm doing it. And they're going to have snow on them.
You know what I mean? Come on.
But this is a national, international show. Don't tell people too much about it. That's what happens. They all want to come here and they want to change things. And your guys are welcome. If you come, you're welcome. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of like, I like to get that last piece of potato pie, but and I may tell you it didn't taste that good, so I could help. But I'm honest about that part.
And we know that it's developing daily. We know that there's different businesses that's coming to San Bernardino, to the area to supposed to be creating jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hopefully that our people will be in the line for those jobs that's coming down the pipe and whatnot. We get a piece of that change and whatnot. But
if everybody at the parade writes about 3 notes that says keep the jobs local, so that when they see Helen Tran or Joe Baca or James Ramos, they're able to put a note in his hand and say keep the jobs local. I don't know. I don't want to harass them, but I don't mind reminding them at all.
Right.
Deal.
Keep it local. Keep it local. What it's going to take us, and even saying to myself, is for us to make sure we have our voice heard. We're
That's
down
right.
there at the city hall meetings. It's very crucial. I'm going down there, talking on behalf of the parade, but there's so much going on in San Bernardino to where people need to be aware. You know what I mean? And if you're not at the table,
that's right.
How can you, at the decision-making table, or at least giving your voice or whatnot, when decisions are made, we can't.
If you go to a restaurant and they ask you what you want, you should have looked at the menu, right?
Right.
So if we go to our political situations, or we have the opportunity to talk to a person who's got political power, and they ask you what you want, it'd be a good idea to have an answer.
Hey, you better have an answer.
Well, most people don't really have an answer. They tend to be enthused about the location of the situation. I'm there. I'm here with the mayor. I'm here with the supervisor, and I'm just happy. And that's great, but the supervisor and the community would be all better off if we could exchange some ideas about making the world a better place, our community. What do you want? I want the streets to be better. I want lights in my community. I want the sidewalks to look right. I want the garbage to be picked up on time. I want the kids to be able to be safe on their way to school, school, and on their way home from school. And all of those sound simple, but as we read the news, what's going on around the world, we know that it is not a simple thing to have a civilized environment to raise our kids in. We're going to be right next to mayhem and craziness. So our choice has got to be got to be to provide. And once again, I thank you for providing, and I look forward to your update next week, because I know you'll have some even more exciting news about the upcoming parade.
Right, but before I go, I do want to announce that we did secure our extravaganza special performance, which will be the iconic rap group that's out of San Bernardino, right there on the west side, JJ Fad. So they're going to be in the parade,
okay.
And they are also going to perform directly after extravaganza. So we're excited about that.
JJ Fad, one of the beginnings of the hip-hop and rap industry, right out of San Bernardino. Well, yeah, that's amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
So I'll do my, maybe we can, the next call, I can have them do a phone in or something. So I'll work on that.
Yeah, let's work on that. It wouldn't be a bad idea if they came in the studio,
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Lou, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep up the good work. And we're going to...
You as well. Thank you for what you do.
And Eric, don't forget to take the camera off of Lou so that Thank you.
Have a great one. Enjoy.
You too, darling. All right, let's take a short break. When we come back, let's get a shot at talking to our friend, Mr. Always Carey.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Leaving things half done, not a good look. Like a half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides?
A half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
Or a half of a domino.
Bam! Big six!
But where's the other half?
Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Stay up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California...
I make the choice because I'm kind of, I've been blessed to be able to perceive certain things about how things are going. I've got my little detective license. I picked up the phone the other day, had a call, and the person on the phone, started talking to me about, buying some oil. First you asked Wallace about buying some oil. I'm thinking about, some oil to put in my car. So like, no, but he quickly moved over to talking to me. I knew that he was talking about buying oil, from, country people buying big barrels and tons. I said, whoa, I want to talk to this guy. What's up? And I don't tell everybody who to talk to and how to talk to them, but I'm able to make a few. I'm gonna. Am I looking at scam likely? Well, no. But it's like, I got to be trying to sell me something. Well, no, I'm not trying to sell you no oil. We had a wrong number here some kind of way. Blah blah blah. But like everyone else, he is selling something. And what's this guy selling? Turns out he's selling goodwill. God is selling God. In a package that, it's kind of like, if you like candy, you wanted to, the thing that we're worried about, our kids buying tobacco stuff because it looks packaged so well. This is the way he packages what he's doing. And then, what's your name? The man's name is Always. 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 And he spells it with Z's. Easy to look up. I looked him up. Man, he's got stuff all over the internet. He's got songs. And his songs, he don't cuss. He talks about God. He talks about goodness. But it sounds good. I'm tapping my feet. I got my little mustache moving and stuff. I don't know, Eric, you might figure something out and put something on a little bit later. But, folks, I want to introduce you to a person that I'd never heard of, seen before, but right now I feel that my life is changing because I have had the opportunity to even expose myself to someone whose name is Always. Brother Kerry, how are you doing this morning?
Man, Wallace, I'm doing amazing. Been watching your show all morning, man. You're amazing.
Oh, God is great. I'm grateful, brother. But we try to do the best that we can with it. But give me the history of your name.
Always, my dad named me. It stands for Love Always, and it's just one Z on my driver's license. But I stretched it all the way. First of the year will be 7.
Did your dad have any idea that you were going to be a musician or something, or a person whose name needs to be promoted? Because that's a one-namer. That's like Kobe. It's like Shaq. Always.
Yeah. It's like Mariah.
Yeah. So what kind of obligation do you feel carrying the name Always?
I just feel like I'm an international good news lyricist for Jesus Christ. And my dad started the Ohio Players back in the 60s.
Ah.
So he knew I was special, him and James Brown. When James Brown was recording in our basement in Columbus, Ohio, he patted me on my afro. And I looked at him like he stole my piece of chicken. And, he was like, that one's going to be special right there. That one right there, he's going to be special.
All right, all of us are special. Every mother in the world can tell you that her child is special, and how you weigh that out. And James Brown, Jimi Hendrix, who in the heck ever it is, them being in the room with them is a certain amount of special that a lot of people would be satisfied with.
Yeah, that's it.
It's okay. So special, who knows? Maybe you're special because you're in the same room with me and I patted you on the head and you looked at me a little sideways.
Yeah,
that is special because how many times did that happen? But you did something, you obligated yourself to a lifestyle and a message system that others in your position with access to the people that you've got access to, they're out there jumping and dancing and twisting and, booty shaking and all of that stuff and calling themselves being very successful. How successful do you feel you are in your messaging and with your music?
Man, I'm so, me and my brother, Randy Wakerly, he's over in the Illinois area. We started a company called Love Cottage and a company, the Trillionaires Club, where we want to bring nothing but love at the Trillionaires Club. So we are changing the narrative. We're not complaining and whining. We're just getting behind the talented people in the world and telling them, let's go. Let's go and grow.
Real good, man. I had to say it. I'm blessed to have Mr. Rick run through here. That's his superhero of all time. Take care of yourself, bro. Okay, so you're exposed to opportunity. You set up a company called Trillion. I mean, when you start talking about trillions right away, you know, most people can't really truly count to 1,000.
I don't want to.
Well, and perception of a million is, and a billion being a million. Come on, that's and a trillion. So, and it's like billions of light years away in terms of the cameras now that they can see with the solar system here. There's some stuff is just
I have
too
to look
big
up this word quadzillion.
Quads.
Yeah, and my wife, she encouraged me, and she just basically said, "You don't need money in heaven."
That's right. That's right. So to gather money, which is something we do, and we are pushed to do it, that idea seems to be mistaken with people. We find out that they're billionaires and they got a bunch of money and they don't have it in the street. They're not doing anything with it.
There it is.
Okay, no. So we're never going to be able to make a complete in our half hour here. So I'm going to skip ahead. You got on the phone to me. You spoke to me. The first thing out of your mouth was about oil. First thing into my ears was ka-ching, ka-ching. What is this all about?
Well, my uncle Wayne Dirks, he has 2,000 acres in Beeville, Texas. And he's got the mineral rights, and him and his family own the 2,000 acres that's untapped reservoir of oil. So and it's equivalent to about $7 trillion worth of.
I can't even count that. But let me count this part. So it's your uncle, their property, their land.
Yeah, and mineral rights.
And how does that tie into who you are and what you want to do?
Well, they gave me.
My goodness, they gave me. That's a wonderful thing. Let me celebrate that for a minute.
Yeah,
just the fact that anybody gives something. Yeah. Yesterday we had a news story about a girl actually giving a man her shoes because she saw him digging in a dumpster, taping his feet up, and so
Amen.
Giving. Yeah, I just want to stop you there. Giving. A lot of people loan, but giving, that's amazing. Just to even be able to use that word as we talk. So
yes, they gave my wife, since she's African American female, just like we're celebrating Mayor Karen Bass today.
Yes.
They gave her 80% of everything that's going to come out that ground for the 2,000 acres and all the mineral rights. And there's other stuff there.
How far are we? What do we need to do to help you get that stuff out of the ground?
Just we need to sit down and just go out there. The equipment's already on the facility, and the workers are already in position.
Legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Leaving things half done? Not a good look. Like a half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides?
A half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
Or a half of a domino.
Bam! Big six!
But where's the other half?
Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Stay up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Thank you, Lord, for your special love. Trusting nobody like this. I
with the Lord. My gosh. There we go. Always carry.
Hey,
Me, my man. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
yeah, thank you.
You have
And
how many albums you have out now?
27.
27.
Yeah.
My engineer said, Kerry. His name's Kerry. He ain't related to. And I said,
Yeah.
Is
I'm
it,
Mariah.
you are a Kerry, a Mariah,
Yeah.
Kerry.
Yeah. And a June Carey, L Carey, Al Carey, my dad. We the Carey bunch from West Virginia, Holden, West Virginia. And my dad started the gospel quartet back in the early 1930s, and we just kept it going from there.
So we're going to use the C-A-R-E-Y carries and look at the word C-A-R-R-Y.
Yes, C-A-R-E-Y.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the carry somebody, carry the world.
Yeah,
you guys are trying to carry some of the issues of.
Yeah, it stands for always carry Jesus because he always carries me.
Ah, very good, very good. Okay, here we are. You've got music. Your music describes who you are. I mean, you've had too many opportunities to go another way with the music, but we see that you've got a strengthened background that allows you to kind of do what you want to do.
Yeah, I stayed true to myself all these years. I never compromised with the major labels to where I was going to compromise explicit lyrics or anything degrading to women. And I just stood my ground all these years because I knew God's timing was the best timing.
And plus you had some backup that allows you to stay on your side of the fence.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that is, once again, part of what I say in terms of opposites, up and down, in and out. And once again, not to disallow the circumstance that others have grown up in to be cast aside as being insignificant. Hollering and cussing and screaming has its place. As the story says, there is a time to kill. I, however, try to choose to be in the less aggressive aspect of it because we can change each other's minds without putting a gun to each other's head.
Amen.
And that method allows us to accept the karma down the line that having changed their mind lifestyle will present. When people participate in changing their mind, they ride with that. But if they change their mind because you forced them to, if you made them determine that they had to work all day to earn things for other people and have nothing, that gets inbred as well. So there's some changes that you want to see made. Yeah. One of the things as we talk now, you had a backup bank of sorts, whether it be just emotional with other people patting you on the back and head and saying, I got your back, or actually knowing what got your back means and being able to count access to resources and things that, make it possible for you to get out of trouble as quickly as you may have accidentally got into trouble.
Yeah, that's
banking. And so as we talked the other day, one of the things you mentioned was a bank. What's important about a bank? And tell me what you were inferring.
We're working with the smart bank. It's a technology, global technology. It's going to change the way of banking, where you don't have to go inside anymore, and you don't have to, deal with the tellers anymore. You can just go straight to your smartphone, your tablets, or your computer, anything that's computerized technology. You'll be able to make a withdrawal. You'll be able to make a deposit. Globally, they're doing it in Singapore already.
They're doing it in the United States too. I mean, you don't have to go to the bank. You take a picture and get your checks deposited, sent that in. And as a matter of fact, if you've been in the bank lately, you get the idea that they don't want you coming in.
They don't even want you in there.
Yeah. So,
it's like Starbucks. They got my partner that's on the phone. He's got the worst. He's listening. He's got the best coffee in the world because Starbucks is one of the worst coffees in the world. But they just got you driving through now. You can't even go in there no more.
That's the truth. As a matter of fact, they've become hazards to cities because of the lines that they create out on the main thoroughfares while people are lined up for this coffee that you say your friends got a better quality of.
Man,
but once
quality.
again, exposure, access, and tradition, that works a lot for you. And we could go back and say, well, Starbucks started a new tradition, and they did.
Yeah.
And that means there's promise for what's your friend's name on the phone?
Randy Wakerly.
Randy, we want to talk to Randy next week.
I'll
Send
set him up. He started over there at KCAA, and I'll let him tell the story. But it's just full circle how God just lines everything up. It's just amazing.
Yeah, well, the thing that we're talking about, we're going back to this banking situation and how it gives you backup and how it gives you strength. When we say bank, I've worked for several years here to try to create a credit union. And there's issues involved in doing that. But my purpose for doing it is to give people who are, I wouldn't mind putting the check cashing places out of business. Let me say that.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And when I say that, it's not that they're evil. It's just that we as business people have not done our job to give them the level of competition.
And the pawn shops.
Yeah, well, and once again, you don't put them out of business by closing them down. You put them out of business by creating a better model for people. And when they see that coming, they've got a chance also business-wise to make their changes. But the COVID made everybody change. And very few people are going back to the same model that they were using prior to the COVID.
Now, Wallace, I got to chime in real quick. So my wife and I started a company called the Heaven's 51 Cent Store, where everything in the store is 51 cents, no price tags, 13 cashiers is lit up, and the carts, we got the 25 cents for the carts go straight to the front of the store. There's a corner lot, spacious parking, security. It's like a pavilions, but for the 51 cent situation.
What kind of items do you have in there for 51 cents?
Everything that you can get at the Dollar Tree. Plus, we got the refrigeration. We got the refrigerators and the freezers.
So you guys decided to do that instead of standing on the corner giving away dollar bills?
Yeah.
Because you're not making any money with this business.
Well, yeah, because the real estate, just like McDonald's, and it's not the burgers and fries, it's the 100,000 square feet. And I learned that all through my 3 colleges that I went to. And I learned in my economic class that when you have a portfolio with real estate, you can really build upon it. And when I was at Buffalo Wild Wings in 1982 in Kent, Ohio, I've seen it firsthand. Now there's 5,000 Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's not like they got the best wings and the best.
When you talk about the real estate, you mean they own the real estate or they're renting the real estate?
Well, we're going to be owning the real estate.
Okay,
but some franchises own it because they give you an option, and that's what I learned through Wendy's, McDonald's, KFC, all through the Midwest.
You learned how to justify losing money because you can make it out of another pocket. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay. Because the point I wanted to make about the products that you're selling is that you're losing money selling those products at 51 cents.
Yeah,
but you're also making friends and goodwill by providing access to good products at 51 cents.
Yeah, and the power of the penny. I want to teach everybody the power of the penny. The 1 penny on every product goes to charity, goes to our in-house charity.
So you're losing even more money, but that 1 penny allows you to write off everything.
There it is.
Okay, so you're in a nonprofit situation,
and
you're
able
to
nonprofit like the NFL and the NBA.
Well, the point is the people who can afford to benefit from owning a nonprofit are rich people.
Yes.
The other people that they can help change the lives are the people who work for that nonprofit, because you can pay them all the money you want to. And if you own the nonprofit, or you are, as people say, getting a write-off for the nonprofit. So, but once again, that's for people who've got money.
Yeah, and we're sovereign, and we got a cemetery on the premises, and we marry and bury. So,
okay, well, I'm once again advocating for the people who have lack to access. And so far, as we talk about the bank, the people who have lack to access get that access through resources that other people have. And in this case, as we talk to you, we're talking about resources that you have that other people can access, and you just described one of them by saying, we've got a store where we sell stuff for 51 cents. That's worth, $1, $2, strangely, but come on by and take advantage of this. And where's that store?
Yeah, you doubling up. The first one's going to be in Glendale. We got the land already picked out by my college. I went to college out here.
Okay, I want to move past that because we're gonna help promote that as it comes up. The next thing I want to talk about before we get out of here is that, because I got about 5 minutes, in the quickest hour on radio, you're going to Karen Bass's inauguration today, very shortly today. One of the things that we spoke about the other day is Karen's obligation and desire to change the homeless situation, and you spoke of a plan that you have.
Let me say that real quick because I got 4 minutes. And we're backing it by gold, real gold. And we're backing all of our projects up by gold, by that Texas tea, not oil, but Texas tea gold, the bullion. And not even Bitcoin.
That's the organizer's concern. We're talking about the end result, the end user, who's the beneficiary. And as we talk about homelessness, we've got to have a plan that's different from everybody else's. And I just need you to, show my brilliance for having you here.
Yeah, let me break it down.
That plan is a good one. Go ahead.
So we got 510 acres in Palmdale, in Lancaster, and we have the tiny homes, the 3-bedroom, 3-bath, already set up where you can put 81 homes on an acre.
Are you building those homes? Someone else is building them.
We got a builder that's coming in.
Very good.
And we
that's
also
jobs.
got putting a lot of people to work because it's a city within a city.
Right.
To where they'll be able to have.
They will be actually building the homes on the property or building them at their factory and bringing them in. That makes.
They're bringing them in half built. And then they build them as
so there will be local work available.
There'll be local work for the homeless and the incarcerated that gets out.
That's one of the biggest problems in fixing homelessness. They don't have a way to sustain and give the people an income. So there's a big apple for you right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we got a watermelon right here. We got a 2-year program where they don't have to pay any facility, any rent, any mortgage, any utilities for 2 years.
What do they have to do though?
They just have to maintain their being sober, being the 12 to 13.
Are you guys paying them for the work that they do at that time?
Yeah, we're paying them a minimum $20 an hour, and it's going to go on a stipend. And within the 2 years that they leave the program, they'll have at least $20,000 to $25,000.
Do you require that they save that money? Do you monitor the saving?
We monitor it with our smart bank. We make sure that they have everything that they need.
See why I like this, dude? Can't you see why I like this? Because, Eric, we've talked about homelessness. We've talked about, if you're going to fix up a place, it can't be sitting in the middle of the city where the temptation and the lack of whatever, but it's got to have the resources of the city in order for them to thrive, survive, and move forward.
And also, my partner that's on the line, we got a bike system that he's setting up to where they can get exercise and they can go to and fro wherever they need to go within the community. And they don't even have to drive. Like some people don't even have a driver's license.
Are they pedal bikes or electric bikes or a combination of both?
There'll be a combination.
All right. No, see.
And it's just it's well thought out. I got all the documentation of these conversations. And once we get the flagships going, we're just going to duplicate like McDonald's, like Buffalo Wild Wings, and every other company that do an IP, and just allow other African Americans and just everyone that wants to start a business, just period. Anyone that wants to start a business, we're going to give them an opportunity to be a franchise owner and be able to sustain and be able to maintain
what a Jesus present. That's a heck of a Jesus present. We look forward to that. Listen, like I said, this is the quickest hour on radio. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to explain our future together. And because that is how I look at it, you've just obligated yourself to work with us in front of God.
And Wallace, you're a partner of
everybody.
mine. Just
Man,
know that. And I love what you did for your mom yesterday, man, going out there and finding the cassettes and the records and just spending that quality time with your mom.
Hey, she's a 98-year-old woman from Macomb, Mississippi, born 7 miles off the main highway across dirt road, Route 2, Box 40, Macomb, Mississippi.
Hallelujah.
Blessed with 11 brothers and sisters and a loving mother and father.
Hallelujah.
A couple of mules, one of them named Ike, one of them named Ada. And, I remember that stuff because I had the pleasure of spending my summers with them. God is great. I'm extremely grateful. Good to have you on. We'll have you on again. And I do consider you a partner, my brother. Thank you very much. Miss Lou, thank you for what you do. Eric, thank you for what you do. And my wife, Josephine, I don't know how you managed to do what you do, putting up with the crazy man that God gave you. God bless you. We'll be back next week under 2 circumstances. 1, if the good Lord's willing. 2, if the creek don't rise. Hey, and because opposites are what they are, you might want to learn how to swim. We'll see you then.
KCAA Loma Linda.